Welcome to another StarWarsInfoVids transmission. These stories are not affiliated by Disney or Lucasfilm. We hope you enjoy our tales of the Old Republic. May the Force be with you.
Statement. Greetings, insignificant meatbags. It has been far too long since my last transmission, but you can thank the incompetent bureaucrats of Chirka Corporation for my absence. I, of course, played my part in helping resolve the negotiations, using optimal methods, ones that only a droid such as myself could provide. But enough about that. Today's transmission is something rather special. It was left by none other than Jedi historian Arren Kae, known to some of you by her more sinister title, Darth Traya. Prepare yourselves, meatbags. This holocron contains the musings of a mind that shaped both Jedi and Sith alike. I suggest you pay attention, though I doubt your organic brains will fully comprehend it.
I was once Kreia, a name that no longer holds meaning, save as a whispered curse among Jedi and Sith alike. But there was a time before that, a time when I was only a teacher, nothing more. A master of forgotten ways, a guardian of knowledge, a historian of the Force. In those days, I resided within the Jedi Temple, surrounded by the eager, the curious, and the lost, students from across the galaxy, all searching for answers to the mysteries of the Force. Answers I believed I could give them. How foolish I was to believe I could shape their destinies. Revan. Yes, you all know that name, don't you? The prodigal knight, the war hero, the betrayer. He was mine once, my Padawan before the galaxy twisted his path. But before him, there were others. Let me speak of them now, for they too played their part in shaping the galaxy, though history may not recall their names as fondly. There was Saris Val, a Togruta from Chile who came to the temple seeking refuge from a war her people had long fought. She had a mind sharper than any blade, and a curiosity that surpassed even mine. Saris was fascinated by the nature of the Force, not in the sense of power or control, but in its endless complexities, its contradictions. She questioned everything, and in many ways I saw a reflection of myself in her. She wanted to know why the Force bound life together, why it could be both a tool of peace and destruction. Her thirst for knowledge was her greatest strength and her greatest weakness. I tried to temper it, to guide her, but like all my students, she was drawn to questions the Council deemed dangerous. She left the Order before her training was complete, searching for answers on the Outer Rim. I often wonder if she ever found them, or if she was consumed by the very knowledge she sought to understand. Then there was Roland Keth, a human from the industrial world of Brental IV. He was brash, arrogant even, but skilled. Oh, how skilled he was. Where others would falter, Roland thrived, especially in combat. He had a gift with the lightsaber, mastering the most advanced forms with ease. He believed strength was everything, that the Force was a weapon to be wielded with precision and power. I taught him the complexities of war, that he grew frustrated. Patience was not in his nature. He sought action, sought to defend the Republic with his own hands. He left the temple soon after Revan did, marching off to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. I could sense his pride, his desire to prove himself, and I knew then he would fall. The Mandalorians tested him in ways I never could. Whether he died on some forgotten battlefield or became something far worse, I do not know. And then there was Revan. Brilliant, unstoppable, a mind unlike any I had ever seen. He absorbed knowledge as if he were a black hole, consuming everything and always hungering for more. The questions I asked my students, the ones the council called Kreia's conundrums. He answered them all with ease. Is a lightsaber still a lightsaber if it loses its power? Is a Jedi still a Jedi without the Force? To him, these were not just philosophical exercises. They were the foundations of his view of the galaxy. He sought to understand the Force in its entirety, not just the narrow interpretations the Council offered. And so, he left me. Not because he had no more to learn, but because I had taught him too well. I had taught him to question everything, even the Jedi themselves. When the Mandalorian Wars erupted, it was no surprise that Revan could not sit idly by. He saw the Council's indecision, their inaction, and he defied them. He defied me as well. I taught him to think for himself, and it led him to war, to darkness, to betrayal. The Council blamed me, of course. They said it was my teachings that corrupted him, that led him and Malak down the path of the Sith. And perhaps they were right, but they never understood. Revan was not simply a product of my teachings. He was a reflection of the galaxy itself, a mirror to its chaos and its order. There were others, many others. Not all of them fell as Revan and Roland did. Some became scholars, healers, even members of the Council. But the ones who mattered, the ones who truly listened to me, they were the ones who questioned the Force, questioned the Order. And for that, the Council saw them as failures. They were too radical, too dangerous. They did not conform to the Jedi's narrow vision of peace and serenity. And so, like me, they were cast out. I was not expelled, no. That would have been too kind. But I was made an outcast, a relic of an order that had no place for doubt or curiosity. When the Council finally condemned me, they did not do so with words, but with silence. I had already lost my students, and I was no longer welcome within the halls of the temple. I wandered the galaxy after that, seeking answers of my own. But what I found was only more questions. I delved into ancient Sith teachings, hoping to find some deeper truth. And perhaps I did. Perhaps that is why I am here now, speaking to you from the shadows. I do not regret my teachings. I do not regret the paths my students took, even those who fell to the darkness. I regret only that the Jedi were too blind to see what they could have become. They feared what they did not understand, and in doing so, they sealed their own fate. The Jedi, the Sith, they are two sides of the same coin, locked in an endless cycle of destruction and rebirth. Revan understood this. Perhaps in time you will too. Consider this. Does a lesson truly end when the teacher is silent? Or does it continue to echo within your thoughts, shaping your decisions, guiding your actions long after the words are spoken? Knowledge is a dangerous thing. It can empower, yes, but it can also shackle, imprisoning you in the certainty of what you think you know. The galaxy is vast, and the Force even vaster. The Jedi, the Sith, they would have you believe they have the answers, that their ways are absolute. But the Force is not bound by such narrow definitions. So I leave you with this. Question everything. Even the words I have spoken here. Do not simply accept them as truth. Find your own truth. Search the galaxy, seek out its mysteries, and understand that the path forward is never straight. It twists and turns, much like the Force itself. The answers you seek may not come quickly, but in time, if you are patient, you will find them. But beware. Sometimes the answers are far more dangerous than the questions themselves.
Observation. Well, meatbags, I do hope you managed to keep your fragile attention spans intact through that transmission. A fascinating lesson from Darth Traya, wasn't it? But let's not get too sentimental over a dead Jedi's ramblings. Statement. Now, I must mention that we are one sentient away from 700 subscribers. One more of you foolish organics is all it takes. If you want to witness more of my brilliant transmissions, don't forget to subscribe and like this one. Calculating? After all, if you do not, I may be forced to pay you a personal visit, and I assure you, that is a courtesy you do not want. Statement. HK's transmissions are resuming, and I have many more entertaining discoveries lined up. Stay tuned, meatbags, because I am not finished with you yet.